what I want to ask you is let's kind of pivot into the Raiders roster, and kind of team building aspect of what the Raiders are going to do in this draft. So, what are your okay, I have my top 10, and I think we talked about this before. Top 10 positions, to build your team. If you were building a team, what are you starting with, from 1 to 10 to build your team? And I got mine broke up into 3 tiers. So obviously, so what would you say would be your to build a team, like your rankings, like from at positions?
How would I build a team? Well, I'm old school. Offensive line, I will go from center to tackle.
Right. So like number one, so for me, the way I have it broke down, I have it broke down into tiers. My tier 1
Yeah.
is franchise cornerstones. Obviously, number 1 is quarterback. I mean, it's no secret. If you don't have one, if you don't have a quarterback, then that's the most important position on the field. If you don't have one, then you're not going to win a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? This league goes as a good quarterback goes. So you're not contending if you don't have a quarterback. Number 2, as you were saying, tackle. You got to protect your quarterback. Protecting your quarterback is crucial. You know what I'm saying? Like example, if you don't have a good tackles, especially the blind side, you're going to risk injury to your most valuable, asset, which is the quarterback. Then he's, running around, he can't perform, or he can't execute the offense if he's on his back. You know what I mean? So you got to protect him. Edge rusher. Based off of my big board, you should see that I had, like in my top, 50 or whatever, I think I had like 7 or 8, 9, I think, edge rushers. They're game changers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have a quarterback. You got to protect your quarterback. Then you got to have a piece to get after the quarterback or get after their quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So there's levels, edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? Disrupting the quarterback is the most, consistent way to affect the game. Edge guys, they change games. A la Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Khalil Mack. Those guys change games. You know what I'm saying? Got to have one. And 4, cornerback. It's a passing lead. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a cornerback. Again, these are cornerstones. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You got to have a cornerback, especially in today's heavy pass NFL, a true number 1 quarterback that can shut down, the receiver or shut down one side of the field. That's my tier. Do you see it the same way, or do you have it different?
No. Quarterback, obviously, need that quarterback to be that alpha, to run that team. I go with the offensive line. Obviously, a tackle, but I think the entire offensive line should be cornerstone, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And then I always look at the defensive tackles and defensive ends. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's the other side of the line, which is on defense. I do believe that you do have to have a linebacker in that defense that's cornerstone, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm a big fan of having a tight end, which we do. I like having a tight end. Because he blocks, receiver, everything. That's the way because that's a huge aspect. A tight end is a receiver and a blocker, which I'm going next. Running back to me is a huge piece in this and building this team. Yeah. A running back controls your clock management, keeps your defense fresh, takes pressure off the quarterback, and takes pressure off the passing game, and it opens up the passing game. So if you have a great running back, you're going to do a lot of things as well, and so I do believe that cornerstones for me is pretty much that. I'm with you on the defensive backs, but I do believe that depending on the coverage scheme, I think we can kind of limit that. But if you have that one linebacker alpha of Mike that can set up that defense, I think that's more priority in my opinion.
Right.
And
And I'm glad
that
you said that.
coach on the field, you know.
Right. And I'm glad you said that because, again, like I said, I haven't broke up in the tiers. I look at those as the cornerstone. That's why, if you look at it, that's why cornerbacks, edge rushers and quarterbacks, tackles, edge rushers, and cornerbacks really go high in the draft, because they look at it as cornerstone pieces. If you got one of those, what I'm saying, like they fly off the board, right? So tier 2 is key building blocks. Again, they're cornerstones, but they're not but they're key building blocks that you got to have, and you touched on every point of that. 5 is defensive tackle, a dominant D tackle, like Aaron Donald or whatever, what I'm saying, and Ndamukong Suh back in the day or something like that, what I'm saying. Now a Jalen Carter, a dominant D tackle that can wreck plays before they start by collapsing, the pocket where the quarterback, can't step up, and also get sacks is a huge for D line, right? So that's number 5. Again, I'm ranking them. 6, weapon, a wide receiver, like you said, tight end or running back, a explosive skill playmaker who creates mismatches and can elevate your quarterback. Brock Bowers, an Ashton Genty, if he was on his team, you know what I'm saying? Like, Calvin Johnson, these receivers, that can come in and be game changers. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have that.
Yeah.
7, inside, inside O line, guards and centers or whatever. You can't have a leaky interior. You know what I'm saying? Like, and expect your quarterback to stay upright, or for your run game to be solid, to have a solid run game. Without a solid O line, don't expect what you're trying to do on offense to be successful. So again, cornerstones are the tackles, but key building blocks that is in the tier 2. You better have solid interior linemen, or it don't matter what you have on the outside. If that interior lineman is not as good either, it's not going to work. And to me, I think that's more important, like you were saying, because again, that helps your run game, more really than tackles. That helps, the offense. So, and last but not least, as you touched on it, linebacker. I don't know why linebackers are being so devalued in the league now, but it's really pissing me off that linebackers are being looked at that way. To me, a linebacker, you need one that can cover. You need one that can run. You need one that can tackle. You know what I'm saying? You need that someone that can lead the defense. They're the quarterback of the defense. So a really good linebacker is huge for defense. Linebacker play, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know where we got away from that style of football. I mean, I know it's hard to find those cover, cornerbacks that can do it, run sideline to sideline, that can cover and that can tackle because of the pass happy league that this is in. But I mean, if you find one, if you get one, man, you better cherish it and hold on to it. Fred Warner.
Let me stop you there real quick. It's coming back, G. It's coming back. And you know why? You know why? Look what happened. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, all these running backs were balling. Why? And this is why. A lot of people are not pointing this out. Weak linebackers on teams.
Yeah, because they got too many quarterbacks, and what I'm saying, like, and small safeties.
Yeah, and name me one one team. I mean, I could probably name you a couple of linebackers that are great that we have in the league, but name me one team that actually has a great linebacker like back in the day, like a Ray Lewis,
Or
like
Luke
a
Kuechly.
like a Luke Kuechly. When did that go away?
Fred Warner obviously is the only one to me that
Yeah,
comes.
Fred Warner's the only one. One of them, and let me see who else.
Maybe Patrick, not not Patrick Green, Queen, but he was Chicago Bear linebacker, and now he's Baltimore Ravens. The Georgia kid.
Yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But see, that's what I'm saying is you can't name any. I mean,
Mm-mm.
but now that they saw the success that these running backs were having, guess what? They
Oh,
start. They're going to start looking for linebackers.
yep. And
You
and,
need
and
you need those guys. I mean, the a linebacker was it's like a how can I explain it? Should I how can I explain it to a good way? A linebacker is there to stop the running back, right? Pretty much.
pretty much,
That's
yeah.
what it is for. That's what it is for. It's like there's no other way around it. Like you got corners that cover wide receivers, where the linebacker covers the running back, regardless of what he does. He cleans
Mhm.
up everything. He's the janitor. He cleans up he does the dirty work.
Yep.
I mean, he does all that.
And yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why, man. But we need to get back to that. And tier 3 is the complementary pieces. Now, this is what a lot of people are has a misconception, and just listen to people. When they're saying, "Oh, we don't need to draft a running back at 6," we can wait till later, or it's like they're again trying to devalue, I guess, again, a running back. Just let me set the record straight. There's two difference of running backs, and that's why I wanted to do this exercise. Is because I have weapon at 6, either wide receiver, tight end, or running back. But that's the elite game changer type running backs, right? So again, team building your team or whatever. Now I'm down to 9, 10, and 11. So we already did the first 8, the cornerstone pieces. 4 of the key building blocks, which again that could be cornerstone. 1 through 8. This is where I think a lot of people are listening to too many people on the radio or listen to people on TV. This basically disvaluing the running back position. Obviously, 9 is tight end, right? So you say, wait a minute, you said tight end earlier as 6. Now you're saying tier 3 is the complementary piece. No, the tight end that I'm talking about that's a weapon at 6 are like the Brock Bowers, the Travis Kelce's, the George Kittles. It's not too many of those, right? So again, they're in that special category. Okay. This here is the complementary piece. If you don't have one of those guys, you can still get a complementary tight end, which is a good tight end. You need those, but when you get somebody like a Brock Bowers, oh, you can't take him where you take him, and you see why. You see what he did, right? Number 10 is running back. Again, if you don't have that elite running back, no, you don't take a running back at 6. You don't take a Caleb Johnson at 6, right? So there's difference. Don't just because you see or hear running back, oh, you can't take a running back. No. Learn how to decipher what type of running back. Okay, running back that you're probably talking about you can't take at 6 is what I'm fixing to explain here. A running back is a mid-round running back with elite traits, burst, receiving, vision. Those type of running backs you can get in the mid rounds, but can help out your quarterback and be a viable piece to the offense. Learn how to separate those type of running backs from a Ashton Jeanty type running back And then you can better understand why we're saying you got to take him at 6 if he's there. Don't just look at the position, look at the player. And then obviously 11 is safety. Modern defenses, need safeties who can cover, play in the box, rotate, be able to disguise, can play all type of coverages. A Swiss Army knife. Safety is gold. If you have one of those, draft them. So that's my top basic 11 positions, broke up in tiers, and hopefully that helps explain why when you're hearing Ashton Jeanty at 6, he's a different player. He's a different player.
And I'm gonna go back to that. Yeah, Ashton Jeanty. If you're talking about an alpha, a man that separates cells from already a loaded position. This kid separates himself from the other running backs.
Yep.
Who are also great running backs. They can be great. But you're talking about an elite guy.
Right.
Oh, we can't take him. Why not? This dude is like a once in a lifetime though.
Have you heard who his comps? Like his comps
LP
is LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yep.
Marshall Faulk. You know
I mean, he has a little bit of everything. He's a tank. Look like Beast Mode to me.
I mean, come on. Which Beast Mode is his favorite player. I heard him say that Marshawn Lynch was his favorite running back. So, take that as you may. But those guys are special. So,
and I just think the fact that it always happens, misinformation, the followings that they do to other people. A lot of these fans don't do their own research. You know what I mean? And it's okay. It's fine. I mean, it's not their fault.
Mm-mm.
So they just go by word of mouth. And if they hear somebody say, "Oh, running back at 6 is too rich for me," well, it's like I said. Is it just a running back, or is it an alpha or an elite player, or is it a one generational guy?
Right.
That's two different things. I'm not even looking at him as just a running back. I'm looking at him as a cornerstone player for this team moving forward.
Right.
Now there was another segment that I heard from one of these guys talk about. Are you going to give him another contract? Yes, you are going to give him another contract. This is different. Regardless of what contract you're talking about, the kid has to be there 5 years automatic with the 5th-year option.
Right.
There's 4 years with the 5th-year option. We have a new regime in place that understands that. If you look at Tampa Bay, where John Spytek came from, they have re-signed all their players back more than any other team I've seen.
Yep.
And you're telling me that John Spytek won't sign this kid to another contract?
Right.
No, they're not making that same mistake they did with Josh Jacobs. Now I love Josh Jacobs, but Jeanty is elite compared to Josh Jacobs. And think about what I'm saying, because Josh Jacobs is elite already. If you think about this kid going overboard and being more of an alpha, now he still has to prove it. He still has to prove it. I'm not saying that, but I do believe he can be better than Josh Jacobs, and I love Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
Not taking nothing from him. You know what I mean?
Nope.
And we want to go back, and we want to go back and talk about Josh Jacobs, why he didn't get signed, because that's what a lot of fans are talking about. This new regime wasn't here.
Mm-hmm.
They were not here.
Right.
So let's stop with that narrative. You know what I mean? That's like the stupidest thing I've heard so far.
Yep. So, Raider Nation, now we get to the point of this podcast where, if you hopefully you stuck around, hopefully you got some good insight on some prospects, which we're not done yet. But now let's kind of deep dive into the Raiders roster. So I keep hearing this this narrative that the Raiders are fine. There's not that many holes, or whatever. May not be so. Here and there, cornerback, linebacker, wide receiver, running back, or whatever. Quarterback, if they decide, which I do think that we need to come away with the quarterback in this draft. But as far as not an urgency from what I hear on some stations or whatever. But I look at things different than other people. Just like what Pete Carroll said. I don't do things like other people. I do things differently. I dug into the Raiders roster. We may not have any big issues this year, but come next year, it's going to be a lot of big issues. And I want to kind of break that down. All right, so EP. So I did a starter and bench roster before the draft. It's April 9th right now. So as of right now, if we had to field a team, this is who we have. I'm starting with offense. So we have in the quarterback room, we have Geno Smith, Aiden O'Connell, and Carter Bradley. Obviously, we know who's the starter. We would agree that Geno Smith's the starter, correct? He signed a 2-year extension, $75 million, $65 guaranteed. He's under contract until 2027. So basically, he already had 1 year. We added 2 more years to it, so he's under contract for 3 more years. $75 million, 65 of that guarantee, but it could be all the way up to $85 million if he hits his incentives. He's playing for 2 years, in my opinion, right? For at least 2 years. Aiden O'Connell is a serviceable backup. You know what I'm saying? And we got him on the contract for 2 more years. Okay. So we have 2 quarterbacks on the contract. So when I say this is 2 years or longer. So Geno's the starter. Running back, we have Raheem Mostert. He's 33 years old. We have Zamir White. He's 26. We have Sincere McCormick. He's 25. And we have Dylan Lobby. He's 25. We only have 1 running back under contract for 2 years or longer. 1. Everybody else is on a 1 year. Would you say right now, based off of those 4 running backs, you would think Raheem Mostert is going to be the starter, correct? As of right now, April 9th, with those 4 running backs. Is Raheem Mostert the starter?
Nope.
Who's the starter for you?
Oh, you talking about long term or just started this year?
Before the draft. This is like if we had to field a team right now, if we had to go play Sunday, Raheem Mostert, Zamir White, Sincere McCormick, and Dylan Lobby is our running backs in their running back room.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Mostert is our starting running back.
Okay. Wide receivers.
1 second. Let me turn off the air real quick because I can't hear. All right.
Okay.
My apologies.
No problem. All right, so wide receivers, we got Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Christian Wilkerson, Ramil Keaton, and Kyle Phillips. So we got 5 wide receivers in the wide receiver room. We only have 1 wide receiver on the contract for 2 years or more. Everybody else is on a 1-year contract. So out of those receivers, would you be comfortable saying that Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker is going to be the starters?
Yep.
Okay. Tight end. We have Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Ian Thomas, and Justin Shorter. So we have 2 tight ends that's under contract after this year. Obviously, it's Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. We would say right now them 2 is the starter, correct?
Yes, sir.
Our left tackle. We have Code Miller, 30 years old. He's on a $12.3 million contract right now. His backup is Thayer Munford because he's a swing tackle. He's 26. He's on a 1-year contract, $1.1 million. You would say that Colton Miller is probably going to be the starter at left tackle, correct?
Yep.
All right. Right tackle, we have DJ Glaze, 23. He's on a 3-year contract. The backups are Thayer Munford, Dalton Wagner, which Dalton Wagner is 27, 1-year contract, 840,000, and Gottlieb Aduzzi, 25, 1-year contract, 840,000. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of 5 tackles that we have on the roster, we only have 1 tackle under contract, and that's DJ Glaze. Would you say DJ Glaze is going to be the right tackle starter right now? I mean, okay.
I love that kid. I think that kid got some juice.
Yeah. Now, guards. We have Alex Kappa. He's 30 years old. He signed a 2-year contract, 11.2 mil, 5.5 million guaranteed, including a $2 million bonus. Needless to say, he's a starter. They signed him to be a starter. That money right there, he's a starter. Now, the other 4 we have Dylan Parham, 26 years old, 1-year contract. Jordan Meredith, 27 years old, 1-year contract. So out of those 3, you would think Alex Kappa and Dylan Parham would be the starters out of those 3, correct?
Yeah.
So we have. Oh, and then we got center. We got JBJ and Will Putnam. You would agree that JBJ is a starter, right? Okay. So he's on a 3-year contract. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, out of 5 interior linemen, we only have 2 that is under contract for 2 years or more. So we may not have a issue now. Again, I'm gonna stop there and talk about the offense. We may not have no issue now, but going forward, we're gonna have a big issue. Now, I'm not saying that some of these guys are not going to get re-signed. We can't re-sign everybody. But again, they're on 1-year proven contracts. The ones that perform and put in the work is going to get a contract. Everybody else is going to walk. So you got to look into the future, people. Yes, may not be. Oh, we don't have that many hoes. Okay, may not now, but if we don't draft right, if we don't bring in the necessary people, we will have a big issue in 2026. So out of that, we have Geno Smith basically on the contract for 3 years. We have a capable backup and Aiden O'Connell for 2 more years. I really don't see, to me, just my opinion, and I get yours, I really don't see that quarterback is a huge issue for me with pick 6 or in round 1.
Quarterback, you said?
Quarterback, yeah. I don't see quarterback being a big. We got to have a quarterback at 6. You know what I'm saying? No. Say for instance, if Shadur Sanders falls, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we got to have a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that being we got to have. If we draft him, okay, I get it. We draft him for the future, but it's not a got to have. I think Geno provides stability. You know what I'm saying? That we can feel comfortable saying, okay, we got a top 12 quarterback for the next 2 to 3 years. So I don't think round 1, especially with pick 6, is a quarterback pick necessity to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's not.
Now, we talked about running back. Our starting running back as of right now, if we had to field a team and go play this Sunday, is Raheem Mostert, 33 years old. He's on a 1-year, $1.25 million contract. Zamir White is on his last year of his contract. He's making 1.1 mil. And Dylan Lobby is the only quarterback on the contract for 3 years. Do you see him as a legitimate starting running back? I don't. I think he's a good serviceable, come in, spell type running back. So would you say that running back is a huge need?
Yeah, I mean, I've been pounding the table for that. It's a huge need. I mean, I would double up on running backs this draft.
Because again, what you say about 15 minutes ago, people are saying, "Oh, wait a minute, like second contract." We got him for 5 years.
Exactly.
Why are we thinking about a second contract? Let's just worry about the first 5 years first.
Yeah, man, and that's where I don't get. That's why I don't get Raider fans. What do you think about 5 years from now? You're thinking that Sam Gentry don't matter. You're gonna have him for sure for 4 years without a doubt.
Right. Exactly. So I think that's I think that is really a big glaring need to me. Wide receiver. We only have one wide receiver, and that's Trey Tucker. We got 2 years left with Trey Tucker. Would you say he's the number one? I wouldn't. Would you say he's the number two? I wouldn't. I say he's a good three. Right? So
Yeah, I also think that he hasn't benefited from quarterback play.
right.
So I think we need to see the kid kind of
He
have a good quarterback. I think when Aiden O'Connell was in there, he's much better. Man, I think the kid plays harder when Aiden O'Connell was there in a couple games last year, and the games when Aiden O'Connell was a rookie. You know, so
right. So
so
I'm not downplaying his talent. He has talent. To me, in which he made a big leap from his rookie year to his second year because he
yeah,
dropped almost everything his rookie year.
yeah.
He had a little bit, more drops last year. He did drop. I mean, just a lot of balls, man. I mean, I remember that pass that Gardner Minshew hit him. I mean, it was perfect in his hands. It would have been like a 75-yard, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And he just drops it.
Yeah.
One of the few passes that Gardner Minshew, was perfect to his receivers, and he dropped it. He to me, he has a lot of drops. Now, again, what he's working on in the offseason, hopefully he gets better because he did get better from year one to year two. I'm hoping he takes a jump from year two to year three. But I don't see him as that receiver. So I say we got to come away with the wide receiver. To me, I think we got to come away with the wide receiver
Yeah.
draft, unless we go out and get, if Hunter Renfrow comes back. We did, have a visit. Hopefully, if we sign Hunter or we get, Amari Cooper, he's still out there. The receiver from Seattle, Tyler Lockett, he's still out there. So there's probably some receivers that we can probably, hit up. You know what I'm saying? That hasn't signed yet, but I do think that we need to get a receiver in the building. Tight end.
Regardless, even if they get one from free agency, I do believe we still got to draft one.
Have to. You have to. Again, you have to start building, those key building pieces. You know what I'm saying? You got to have those pieces in the building. Tight end, I think, we got two of the good ones.
So let me stop you there real quick, G, because I had something in my mind. Because I hear this a lot in a lot of outlets out there, Raider Nation outlets, radio stations, online, whatever websites. They talk about Mason Graham, right? At 6, which is a great player. Don't get me wrong. But you're pointing out a bunch of needs that this team has, and if you notice, they're mostly on the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And all these Raider fans talk about, oh, we got glaring needs all over the team, which we do. I'm not gonna say we don't, but there's more needs on the offensive side of the ball, and we need more dudes at the offensive side of the ball than we need at the defensive side of the ball.
Because all the signings, pretty much all the signings was on what side of the ball, G?
Defense.
Thank you. So they pretty much kind of shored up a lot of the holes and needs that we needed on the defensive side of the ball.
Exactly. And I just don't get this narrative. I don't. Oh, well, let's just get Mason Graham because you're gonna bust through the DL, which is I'm not going against that. I'm not denying that. But when you're contradicting your own word about saying we got glaring needs, we need some dudes, we need dudes out there. How is Ashton Jeanty at 6 not a dude?
Exactly.
And not a glaring need. He's a glaring hole. I mean, he's a big hole in. You can see that hole from here to California, bro.
Yep.
As a running back,
Yeah.
but you're hesitant to take him.
Right.
Are you kidding me? You know what I mean?
Well, hopefully, man, like those guys. Hopefully, once we get this, locked up or whatever, man, and I get it out there in the stratosphere, you know what I'm saying, and they can log in and people's out. Hopefully, they'll have a different outlook and different change. You know, that's why we put in this work. That's why we do what we do. Is for you guys, is to get you guys a little bit more educated on, and break from the monotony of what you've been listening to and hearing all these months. You know, we peel back and we take you deeper, and we really go deep into everything for you guys, so that way, you can, then you can kind of like, oh, wait a minute, let me, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's hopefully this will do that for MG. Now tackles or, in linemen. So we got Code Miller as a starter. He's 30 years old. Like I said, he's on a 1 year, $12.3 million contract. Okay. And then we got DJ Glaze as our starter right tackle. We got him on the contract for 3 years. Our starters on at guard is Alex Cappa. We got him for 2 years, and then we got Dylan Parham, which is on 1 year. And then we got JPJ on the roster for 3 years. So we have 3 basically linemen in total under contract beyond this year. So I look at, like I said, running back. I wouldn't so much as far as wide receiver. I mean, I'm ranking them as far as offense. Running back number 1, lineman at 2, and then wide receiver at 3. If I had to rank the offensive needs, running back is number 1, lineman is 2, and wide receiver is 3. Right? So to say, I've been, like hearing some of the callers calling in, and again, not saying anything, I'm not, his intellect or anything like that. I'm just trying to break it down into, hopefully this, if he does this podcast, taking Ted McMillan at 6 is not a good decision, right? I mean, even if we didn't go Ashton Jeanty, the other glaringly need, which again, if you listen to earlier, the 4 cornerstones is quarterback, tackle, right? Edge rusher to get after the quarterback, and cornerback as the 4 cornerstones, but with 5 right there, pushing to be number 4 is interior lineman. So why would you not take a lineman? Why would you not pivot and look at a lineman over a wide receiver if you didn't get Ashton Jeanty? So I just want Raider Nation to kind of, to think about that. And then obviously, if there's not one there, you know what I'm saying, then obviously you'll take a wide receiver, you know what I'm saying, or try to trade back or whatever. But anyways, that's the way I look at offense, or that's the way I see it. Do you see it the same way?
Yeah, of course I see it the same way. I mean, it's the same thing with taking Mason Graham. I get it. The kid is a talent. I mean, he is, and honestly, he probably would be best player available there if Ashton Jeanty's not there. You know what I mean? He probably would be the best player available there. But are you taking him or are you taking Membu? That's the only thing that you got to think about. And I do believe that the Raiders, I think the Raiders will take Graham if he's there without Ashton Jeanty being there. If Ashton Jeanty is there, I think the Raiders will take Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah. Right. Because I was sitting there looking, which I think we'll get it. That's going to be, especially when we get to the mock, because I want to see what I would do faced with that situation once we get to that, because I don't know what I would do. because I do have Mason Graham rated as my fourth best player, on my big board. Right after Genty, I have Mason Graham. So it's going to be interesting. All right, so let's pivot to the defense. So we have basically we have in the defense, DN room, we have Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, Tyree Wilson, and Charles Snowden. I would be comfortable to say that if we were playing the game this Sunday, Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz would be my starters, right? Would it be yours, right?
Oh yeah, Max.
Okay.
Max the face of the franchise. So.
All right, so out of those 5 or 4, I'm sorry, we have 2 that's under contract after this year. Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson. D tackle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7. We have Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, Leaky Fotu, Zach Carter, Matthew Butler, Jonah Layola, and Tyler Manoa. So out of those 7, is Christian Wilkins and Adam Butler your starters?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have that's what I'd have, but I didn't know if you would have anybody different than Adam Butler. I didn't know if you would.
Yeah, that's starters.
Okay. All right, so out of those 7, we only have 3 defensive tackles under contract, and it's Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, and Jonah Laolu. Everybody else is going to be a free agent. Linebackers. I'm going to do inside, which is going to be the inside linebackers, and then I do outside, and then I combine them. So our inside linebackers is Landon Roberts, which is 31 years old. He's on a 1-year contract. Devin White is 27 years old. He's on a 1-year contract. Both are ones that Roberts is 1.25 mil and White's at 1.1 mil. So it's nothing. It's really prove it deals, right? Amani Gaynor, 2-year contract. Kanai Mayaga, 25, 1-year contract, and Jackson Mitchell, 24, 1-year contract. So we have one inside linebacker that is under contract after this year, and that is Amari Gaynor. So out of those linebackers, are you starting Landon Roberts? Is he your starter?
Yeah.
Okay, he's mustard. That's why I have starting. Again, competition, camp, but I'm saying as we were doing it right now, step on the field, he's the starter. Outside linebackers, Amari Burney, 25, 2-year contract. Tommy Eichenberg, 24, 3-year contract, and Ovi Hafo, I can't say his name, 25, 1-year contract. Obviously, those 3 linebackers. Who would you have? Amari Burney and Tommy Eichenberg as the 2 outside linebackers?
We got no choice at this point.
Right. I mean, that's who we have. I mean, we have Ovi, and the other ones are inside linebackers. I mean, they may try to switch, but I mean, the other ones are inside. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 linebackers, we only have 3 under contract.
So that's a glaring need there.
Yes, linebacker is definitely a need. Cornerbacks, we have Jacorian Bennett, 25, 2-year contract. Eric Stokes, 26, a 1-year contract. Then we have the Cameron Richardson, 24, 3-year contract. Sam Webb, 27, 1-year contract. Darnay Holmes, 27, 1-year contract. Key Blue Kelly, 24, 1-year contract. And MJ Devonshire, 25, 1-year contract. So we only have 2 cornerbacks under contract, which is Jacorian Bennett and the Cameron Richardson. So
Devonshire's only 1 year, even though he was a rookie last year.
He's only 1 year.
Wow. Oh man.
So no, he wasn't because he was under McDaniels and
No, he got drafted last year.
Mm, oh, look it up if you can. Yeah, because he
Okay,
came in.
I thought
Yeah.
he was a last. Let me see.
So while you're doing that, would you say that Jacorian Bennett and Eric Stokes is the starters?
Yeah, I would say that. I don't know. I think DCam's gonna
Oh, he's gonna push.
he's gonna make a run for his money.
Oh yeah. So we got three D tackles, 2 ends, 3 linebackers, and 2 cornerbacks under contract. So who would be the first need for you on defense?
Let's see. I say linebacker.
Linebacker. Who would be the second need for you? Cornerback or DN?
Defensive end.
DN, and then
Yeah.
cornerbacks 3 for you.
Good.
Okay. I have linebacker, cornerback.
Okay.
And DN. But could change based off of who was available to me at what position. You know what I mean? Like best player, available. I can easily switch that, and make defensive end 2 and a cornerback 3 or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm not changing my 1. I think linebacker is the biggest need for me on defense.
Yeah, GC. Marlon MJ Devonshire, drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders in the 7th round in the 2024 NFL Draft.
Are you looking on Sport Track or Spotter Track or whatever?
No, it's Wikipedia. I think they had that wrong, G.
Let's see.
I know we drafted him last year. He was the last pick.
How many years does the Raiders have on MJ Devonshire, cornerback? It says MJ Devonshire, cornerback, signed a 1-year contract with the team January 6th of 2025. The contract is valued at $840,000 for the 25 season.
I think that's wrong, G.
Signed to a 4-year rookie contract in May of 24. Was waived in August of 2024, and then signed back to the practice squad.
Oh, okay. So that I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah.
I thought he was still in the team.
No, they waived him, and then, like I said, signed him to a 1-year contract of $840,000. So he's only on the contract or on the team for 1 year.
Okay, got you. All right.
So yeah, like I said, linebacker is definitely the number 1 need, and cornerback and defensive back, depending on, again, can go either 1 or 2, right? D tackle, I think we're probably good on D tackle. I mean, like I said, we got 3 of the 7, but some of those guys can probably, like a Matthew Butler. I mean, he signed a 1-year contract this free agency for $1 million. I don't think people are going to be knocking down his door. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure if the Raiders wanted to bring him back on another deal, they probably could, right?
Yeah,
So
and I'm sure we'll take a defensive tackle here in the draft too. So
right. So I mean, that's not, to me, that's not a glaring need. So
no.
it also kind of goes back to, I mean, like Mason Graham. I mean, it's not a glaring need, but all right. So based off the information, Raider Nation, that you got, hopefully that again bring some light on the Raiders roster. And now when we get to do this mock draft, you can kind of see how we're looking at things. But before I do that, I want to talk about some things that is going to correlate or tie into this mock. So during the presser, the question was asked to Pete Carroll about timeline on how timeline on expecting to win. Is he expecting to win now, or how long is it going to take him to turn this around? And Pete Carroll said, "You guys are asking about timelines. It took a few years at both of my older stops. We're starting right now immediately. We're not looking 5 years down the road. We're starting right now, building this team to be a winning team right now." Another thing that was asked, what are the style of quarterbacks you look for, and what are your style of quarterbacks, and what are your non-negotiables in your quarterback? Pete Carroll, it's more than just a quarterback. It's our job to build the positions around the quarterback to make a great football team around the quarterback to make his job easier. We will do that by running the ball, protecting him, making sure he stays upright, and play great defense. So by hearing that, what is your take on that, G?
Obviously he's got his guy now, Geno, right? So he's telling me with that is, I mean, they're going all in. I mean, they're
based off the first, we're, I'm using guys time limit, but we're starting now. Like, we're building a team to win now.
That tells me that I guess, because I know we're doing the mock draft next episode, right? So I don't want to get into much to that. I don't want to bring in too much to light, but
okay.
That just tells me that, I'm just gonna say it like that, they're not looking at a quarterback at 6, because that tells me he's for the future, not for the now.
Right, and he's saying that by building the team around the quarterback. How? Yep. Run the ball. Protect him. Again, what's the number one? Get that quarterback. What's number 2? Protect the quarterback. What's number 3?
So what they're doing is building a foundation for a franchise quarterback to be there later on.
Right.
So this is,
and then play great defense.
Exactly. So by the time we do draft a quarterback, and if say we do draft one this year, he wants to have that team ready for that quarterback to have it as easy as it can.
Exactly.
And we just drop him in there
and go. So, another question I was asked: what are the philosophy to building the roster? Pete Carroll, I don't do things like anyone else. I know what I'm looking for and what I need to be successful. In Seattle, we had a lot of transactions because we were constantly looking for the right player to make our ball club better, and that won't change here. All right, so this question was to John. John, what are your first steps to build the roster now that you are here? Spatek, already started by getting with Pete Carroll and going over what type of players will fit what we're trying to do at every position. We're looking for, first, do you love football? And do you want to compete every day? If you don't love ball and you don't want to compete, that's okay. We just don't have a place for you here with the Raiders. We want to make it hard to play here. If you're part of the 53, you worked hard and will have to continue to work hard to keep your spot. What do you say with that?
So this goes out to a lot of Raider fans out there, and I'm gonna say this. And there's a radio station out there that I can't stand. It's during lunchtime on my side, so I'm not gonna mention no names. But this dude also talks about him a lot. Oh, we need a red zone target, number one wide receiver. Okay, well, let me tell you this. McMillan, to me, I had him ranked high in my top players. I just don't see him being a fit. I will put him off my board because of what you said. You don't want to compete. You don't want to what? You don't want to work hard. You're not going to have a spot here.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't think I don't think he has a spot in this team because what he said on one of the videos that I saw, he
He
doesn't
don't
like
watch
watching tape.
film and
He don't
he
watch
don't watch
tape and all
football.
that.
He don't watch
Yeah,
football.
exactly. I don't care. I don't care if you said it 2 years ago or not. That just tells me who you are already. You know what I mean?
Right. And
So that
basically,
that that
go
tells me that they're looking for hard nosed working football players, which I love, which is I truly want this team to have is hard nosed, hard working players that just pick up the lunchbox, go to work.
ahead.
That's it.
Yep. And so that's key to why I'm trying to bring this up before we do our mock is because just keep in mind those are the type of players that John Spytek and Pete Carroll are looking for. Those type of guys. So when you do your mock or when you do your drafts or whatever, keep in mind you gotta look at like the player and the type of player. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, that's okay. I'm not saying you're a bad person. You're not a bad player. You just won't have a spot here with the Raiders. You just won't be a Raider.
Yeah, you're not gonna get around here just with talent. You got to
Right.
work hard.
You got and what he say it says if you are part of the 53, you worked hard for it, and you will continue to work hard for it to keep your spot. Just because you made the 53, it ain't no let up. Because it's somebody else trying to take your spot. So you better bring it every single day to stay
Yep.
on the 53. So I love that.
Okay.
The next question was asked to Spytek. John, you've been part of successful teams in Tampa, and it was a mixture of homegrown talent, free agents, and trades. How do you balance between building the draft and taking swings with free agency and trades? Spytek, it's not a perfect way to do it, but for us in Tampa, it was definitely draft and develop. The start of the season, we had 54 of the 53 were drafted or signed as undrafted free agents. By the end of the day, we are going to look everywhere to find the best football player for this team. Yes, we want to draft and develop because that is how you build your foundation. Because you can reward those players with second contracts that earned it.
Exactly. You see, he just stated there for that idiotic statement that they made. Oh, well, are you going to sign up to a second contract? Really? Like this is all media talk. All media talk. This does not come from the building. You know what I mean? I don't know
Right.
who. I don't know why. I don't know why this was brought up, but it really irritated me when I heard this because it has nothing to do with the player. Like if he's a great player, this new regime will reward him, in my opinion.
Right. All right. So Raider Nation. So I wanted to bring that to the light, so that way you can kind of understand what kind of players, what kind of what the you know the people we have in the building, running the team, the new regime, the business, people that we have, the brain trust that we have. I think is very smart, and I think they're very calculated, and I think they're doing it the right way. So, with that being said, Mr. EP, El Paso Raider, you are on the clock, my friend. You have
Okay.
your pulled up. All right, so go through. I don't know if you have it to where like it pauses or whatever, but when you get to 6, if you can tell me who is on the board and tell me I guess give us a brief description on what would they do and give me your pick.
All right.
Oh
Let me
man,
see.
this is gonna be hard. Oh my god, this is gonna be hard.
Are we doing this for for like what we think the Raiders are doing, or because I know we're gonna save this segment for we're gonna do it another day, right? Our mock draft,
Yeah,
or am I
yeah,
confused here?
yeah. I think we can do what again based off of what we just did. The kind of the needs that we have, kind of
So
what we
just
think,
what I think the Raiders will do.
yeah, what they think they would do. Yes.
Okay, so I really do think the board's gonna fall like this. I think uh I think the Tennessee Titans are taking Cam Ward number one. I think number two, I do think Travis Hunter goes to the Browns. Number three, I think the Giants take. That's where I throw the curveball. I think they get desperate. They take Shador Sanders, uh, and then at number.
Who's on your board? Like, do you have your mock draft pulled up, or are you able to pull up? Are you able to do a mock draft?
No, I'm not doing a mock draft.
Oh,
I'm just going by
okay, so
what I think.
and I have, like I said, I have the mock draft, and then like I said, 5 picks are already been picked on my end, so I have who I have available and everything. So go ahead and so you said Shadur, you said this is where the curveball comes in. So
Yeah, I think Shador goes to the Giants, uh, and then I believe the Patriots take Abdul Carter, and Jaguars have the pickings of Mimbu, Ram, or Ashton Genty. And I do think they take Membu to protect their greatest asset, which is Trevor Lawrence. And then at six, I take Austin Dente. I think they take Austin Dente.
okay, so you take
And
okay, so
it's not me. I'm thinking them just because of the fact that he's there. But I'm actually and realistically, I'm thinking Dente might not be there at six.
no, this just by some of the people. More and more that's getting closer to to the draft or whatever, just seeing different switches and the wind blowing. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
I got him. I got him pegged. He can go as high as to the Browns.
At
I
two,
really do. I really do think the Browns can take him.
yeah.
I think the Browns can take him. I think the Patriots will take him, and I do think the Jaguars will take him.
I mean, he can go into from 2 to 5. Like he definitely can go from 2 to 5. There's a need, you know, from 2 to 5 at running back. You know,
Now, say for example, if Jensen's not there, I do believe Membu will be there, and I do believe Shador will be there, and that's just a decision that they got to make. And what we talked about earlier, I think they go Membu instead of Shador
hmm,
or a trade back. They get a trade back
yeah,
to get picks. That's where I would trade back. If Genty's off the board, then I'm trading back.
right. That's me. If Genty is off the board, I'm looking to trade back. I mean, again, you got to have you got to have two to tango. And I think everybody, again, this draft's so deep in starters. They're not um, several elite players. There's only a handful, but a bunch of starters. I think everybody's going to be wanting to trade back. So again, if everybody's wanting to trade back, it's going to be kind of hard to find a trade partner. But if we can trade back, again, we talked about this on our text thread. I would trade back. If Genty wasn't there, I'm trading back. Um, I see it. I see it the same way as far as like I think they can go either Travis Hunter at 2 because Cam Ward pretty much is a lock for Tennessee. It can go either a dual Carter or Travis Hunter. I think man they would like to have again if you look at the structure of how I said quarterback tackle, edge rusher, cornerback. They already got Myles Garrett, right? And I do believe that if we, I don't think Shadir's going to go number 2, even though they need a quarterback. I mean, they got Kenny Pickett. I think that Kirk Cousins is probably lurking in the weeds. I think Kirk Cousins will probably be their quarterback. I think they would go out and sign Kirk Cousins and take Abdul Carter and have that bookend nasty, defensive line, going after quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I mean, can you imagine?
Imagine Garrett and him.
Garrett and Abdul Carter coming off the edges, bro. So I think that's the route they would do. They'll bypass Shadur, go get Kirk Cousins, and maybe get a quarterback in the later rounds. You know what I'm saying? Hell, they can even they have the 33rd pick, or they have the first pick in the second round. So that's valuable. If say Shadur starts to fall, if they want to come up and go get Dart, you know what I'm saying? They can move back up into the first round with the team and draft, their quarterback of the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they got assets. They got assets to do it.
So I think they'll go Abdul Carter, and I think should Travis Hunter at 3. And in the same scenario as I said with Cleveland, New York can do the same thing. Trade back up or whatever if they bypass Shadur. As this say Shadur gets past, Saints at 9 and he starts to fall. Wouldn't it imagine this scenario, bro? Okay, so you get Travis Hunter at 3, right? And Shadur starts to fall. And he gets past 9. And he's there, and and all of a sudden New York's looking around, hey, let's go get this kid. Let's pair him back up with Travis Hunter.
Yep.
Rarity. You know what I'm saying? And they trade back up in the first round or whatever to get Shadur if Shadur is falling. Try to get ahead of Pittsburgh, say at 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
I see a scenario like that. I see New York going that route. So I see Travis Hunter going there. 4, New England, they got to protect their asset. They already got their quarterback. They got their cornerstone quarterback. They got to protect him. That kid was running for his life last year. You got to get him a tackle. And I don't know who they like. Like I said, I'm not in their room. I don't know if they like Campbell over Mimbu, but either or. I'm giving them either or. I would probably say that they probably go with Campbell.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him Campbell because Campbell's a left tackle, whatever. I'm gonna give him Campbell to protect Drake May's blind side because Mimbu's a right tackle. 5. I really do think that Mason Graham would be there. I think they need to start trying to get, even though he needs a weapon, he needs a wide receiver. I think it's too high. It's too rich to take Tetairoa McMillan at 5. Maybe if they trade back, they can get Tetairoa McMillan. But at 5, I think that's too high for them to take.
Well, they have a number 1 that rookie last year. He's a beast.
Who'd they get?
I forgot.
Thomas. Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas from LSU. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so they got a weapon. Well, they got Tank Bigsby, and they got Travis Etienne, which I think Travis Etienne is kind of in the doghouse because they did, you know what I'm saying? But I think they go because they could very well go Ashton Jeanty here, and I'm praying to God they don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm praying to God they don't. But I think Mason Graham will go 5. Again, it leaves, Ashton Jeanty. But in this, Mason Graham is still on the clock. Armand Membu and Will Campbell both went in the top 5. Cleveland took Will Campbell, and New York Giants took Armand Membu. Cam Ward went number 1, Abdul Carter went 4, and Travis Hunter went 5 to Jaguars. So that leaves me on the board: Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty, Will Johnson, Shedeur Sanders, Ted McMillan, Tyler Warren, Jalen Walker. Now, I have a dilemma, bro. Okay. Whew. So, I got Jeanty rated at 93. I got Mason Graham rated at 93. I have Tyler Warren, which may taking a tight end, but he's rated 92. Will Johnson, I have rated at 91. 2 of the cornerstone. Let's see.
Don't think about it, bro. Just take Ashton Jeanty.
Again, not what I would do. I mean, hey, I'm wearing Dan McFadden. The last time we took a first-round running back, that's why I wore the jersey for the show. I'm trying to think what they would do. Like, if they were in this scenario, bro, like if they literally had Mason Graham.
We took Jacobs in the first round, but not in the top 10.
Right. Ashton Jeanty and Will Johnson. And Shedeur Sanders. That is the worst 4 prospects to be on the board.
Will you take Shedeur Sanders?
Would I take Shedeur?
Yes.
What? If what scenario?
If he's there.
If is Jeanty off the board?
No, he's still on the board.
So if Jeanty was on the board, would I take Shedeur?
Yes.
No, I'm taking Jeanty.
Okay.
No, I'm taking Jeanty all day long. But I'm trying to think about what they would do. Oh man. Oh wow. Those 4 are still on the board, man. Mason, Graham, Jeanty, Johnson, and Sanders.
This is what I would do. If they really like Sanders, I take Ashton Jeanty and just trade back up and get Sanders.
I don't think what did Spatek say? He had to remind Pete Carroll because Pete Carroll was trying to get him to, trade. He's like, I love my draft picks.
But if that's the quarterback they want, they can trade next year's first, and they'll take the deal.
So are you saying take him right now?
No, I'm saying take Jeanty at 6. And let Shedeur slide. And if you really want him, trade back up.
But see, that's the point though. Like in my rankings, I don't have them too far apart. Like, let's see. My quarterbacks. I have Sanders at 90. I have Jackson Dart at 89. I have Tyler Shuck at 88. So they're right there. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Why would I trade? Why would I trade up and give up assets if I don't take Sanders now? Why would I take when I can get a Jackson Dart or a Tyler Shuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I got them graded. Okay, if it was okay. I really do think that if they were faced with this scenario, I really do think that. One, I think Sanders been on the board. I think they would take a call from the Saints. If the Saints want to come up to 9 or from 9 to 6 to get Sanders, say, hey, look, we'll draft him. I'll draft him right now. But if you want him, if you make it good enough, I'll let you have him. I'll let you come up. You can have them. I'll fall back. And you can possibly still get, because they're taking Sanders, Will Johnson, Ashton Jeanty, or Mason Graham will still be on, or Jalen Walker. Someone I still have in my top 10 will still be on the board.
Yeah, no, most definitely, yeah.
Because I got Jalen Walker rated 7th on my board. He's my second DN behind Abdul Carter. So yeah, I would trade back if it was me. I think they would trade back if Ashton Jeanty wasn't on the board. But I think Ashton Jeanty, I'm taking Jeanty here. All right, I'm drafting Jeanty. Okay. All right. So what do you got?
Yep.
All right. So who are you taking in the second?
Let's see. Well, I didn't go that far, G. Honestly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I thought we were doing that next episode.
Okay. All right. So I did the second. So good. We can talk about this. All right. So this is who I have on the board. Luther Burton, wide receiver. Talik Williams, D tackle. Siobhan Ravel. Kenneth Grant. Xavier Watts, and Benjamin Morris as the top 5 prospects right now on the board for me, or that's available. So I took Ashton Jeanty.
If Jackson Dart is there, I'm taking Jackson Dart in second. But I don't think he'll be there.
Let's see. Quarterback. Nope. He is off the board.
Yep.
So give you an idea. So Quinshawn or Omarion Hampton went in the first round. So say for instance we didn't get Ashton Jeanty. Right? So we passed up on Ashton Jeanty. We wouldn't have got Omarion Hampton in the second round. He's already gone.
Okay. Damn. See that's where it gets bad. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So in this scenario, let's see. All right. Where's my rankings? Okay, so Luther Burton, wide receiver, 89, 25. Siobhan Ravel, cornerback, 30. Kenneth Grant, D tackle, 4. Okay, so in this scenario, wide receiver, but obviously I wouldn't like wide receiver, but he's rated, he's 25th on my big board. Talik Williams, he is 37th on my big board. Kenneth Grant is 24th on my big board. Xavier Watts is 41 on my big board, and Benjamin Morris is 40th. So my best player available right now on the board is Kenneth Grant, D tackle. So I wouldn't go wide receiver. So I have cornerback, defensive tackle, 2 cornerbacks, a safety, and defensive tackle. Where would you go?
I'll go cornerback.
Oh, then we got an offensive tackle, Josh Connerly.
I'll go corner.
You would go corner over tackle or defense tackle?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Who's the defensive tackles? Yeah, let's see. I think that. Yeah, yeah. So I agree. I think that's the best move. Yeah, I think that's the best move. Is all right. So I'm taking Rebel, Siobhan Rebel. All right. And I think that was the best move.
Yep.
Oh no! He's gone, bro.
What's that?
He's gone, bro. No. Damn. This did not work out for me, bro.
Right, you were trying to take Tyler Stop?
No. Why Millum, the tackle in the
I
third round.
knew it.
In
I
the
knew he
third
was
round.
going. Yeah, I told you.
All right. So the five guys on the board right now is running back Caleb Johnson,
Okay.
Edge, Olu, Olendejo, Edge from UCLA, defensive tackle Darius Alexander from Toledo, Emory Jones, tackle from LSU, safety Andrew Makuba from Texas, and Alfred Collins, D tackle from Texans. Right now, round 3.
I'm taking D tackle. But I can double up on a running back, Caleb Johnson.
Let's see. Edge. Well, you say you're taking what?
I'm taking defensive tackle or Caleb Johnson.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm taking Alfred Collins.
All right, that's a good pick.
All right. So I'm taking Alfred Collins.
What's this, the 4th round?
Yeah. So we got edge, D tackle, safety, cornerback, safety, tackle. Fourth round. You know what? You know what, bro?
Yeah.
I'm going quarterback. I'm taking Will Howard.
All right. I like
I'm
that.
taking
I
Will Howard right now.
like that.
Okay. All right. So I'm taking Will Howard right now. Round 4. So you keeping track of the picks?
Yep.
Okay. So now all right, so all right. So what we have on the clock right now, or I mean on the board, is running back, quarterback. I'm glad I took Will Howard. Quinn Ewers is the next quarterback, or is the top rated quarterback. We got guard, edge, tight end. I think I'm gonna go linebacker here, bro.
All right. Go for it.
I think I'm gonna pick Oregon linebacker Jeffrey Bossa.
Okay.
What do you think about him?
Hey, haven't really looked into him much, but sounds like all right.
Let's see. All right. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Damn, pissed me off. My linebacker went off the board. Danny Stutzman. I was hoping to get
Hmm.
him. All right, so this is Vasa. All right, so he's 6'1", 232. Let's see, he ran a 4.52 at the 40, 31, 3.8-inch arms. So Jeff, let's see the yeah, I think that's who I'm gonna get. All right, so I'm going Jeffrey Bossa here, bro. Linebacker.
All right.
All right. I may double up on linebacker, depending on who's on the board. Yep. I'm doubled up on linebacker, bro.
All right.
Linebacker from Ohio State, Cody Simon.
Oh, wow. And round 6?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's great value right there.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. So I got Cody Simon. See what we got. Hey, where do you got didn't you have a Texas Tech tackle in your 65 or no? Who was the Texas Tech person you had
You talking about offensive tackle or defensive tackle?
offensive tackle from Texas Tech? Did you have Caleb Roberts on your list?
I don't think so. I don't see him. At Cameron Williams out of Texas,
Okay.
6'5", 335.
All right. So let's see. I got a. So what would you do? I got running back Trevor Etienne. Or offensive tackle Caleb Rogers.
ETN.
Or Dalton Cooper, tackle from Oklahoma State.
I take ETN.
You take Etienne?
Yeah, it's double up.
All right. All right. I'm taking Caleb Rogers. So this is what it says. He's a 5-year starter who has taken over 4,300 reps in his college career. He is a very good athlete who moves well in space, which moves him an effective second-level blocker. Rogers is a nimble pass blocker who is light on his feet. He's excellent straight line speed and can finish plays down the field. He has positional versatility and experience lining up at left tackle, left guard, right tackle, and right guard. A physical blocker who does well at the point of attack. Rogers has been personalized as a obscenely high 25 times in his college career and has been an average pass blocker. Taking Caleb Rogers, tackle from Texas Tech.
Sounds like a good prospect.
All right. So here's a sleeper. I can and I was hoping to get like in the later rounds. Let's see. Where do I have him at? Give me a second, G. So I have him. I have this tackle, 134 rated tackle on my top 150 for this reason. He's 6'7", weighs 316. Brandon Crenshaw Dixon has only played 1 year in a power conference after transferring from San Diego State, but he has an experienced starter with over 2,800 college career reps. He has prototype size and length, and has played at both tackle, left tackle, and right tackle spots during his career. Crenshaw Dixon has been personalized as eye-opening 26 times in his college career, and has only been penalized 11 times in his whole college career. He has very mediocre get off, and does not explode out of the stands at times. But he plays with great strength. So, anyways, I'm taking him as another tackle, or like another tackle prospect here in the 7th.
All right.
We have 2 7s, right? No, that was it. All right. So, you got Ashton Jeanty, Siobhan Revel, Alfred Collins, Will Howard, Jeffrey Bossa, linebackers Jeffrey Bossa, Cody Simon, running back Trevor Etienne, and 2 tackles, Caleb Rogers and Brandon Crenshaw Dixon.
I like that. Great draft. I like it. Good shit.
So we're dressed running back, which we got an elite, running back, cornerback, defensive tackle, quarterback to add to that room, which has familiarity with Chip Kelly and Will Howard, 2 linebackers in Jeffrey Bossa and Cody Simon, Trevor Etienne, so another running back and 2 tackles. So let me give you some so Jeffrey Bossa he's a former safety. He transitions to linebacker, offering elite coverage and range ability. His background as a secondary enhances his effectiveness against the pass. He has a passing grade of 92 coverage pass grade.
Damn.
And guess what? He was one of the 30 visits.
Nice.
He's one of the 30 visits that the Raiders brought into the building.
All right.
The other linebacker that I got, Cody Simon. Simon has demonstrated strong coverage abilities, earning a 80.5 coverage grade from Pro Football Focus. Has over 497 coverage snaps since the 23. His balance skill set contributes to his effectiveness in the passing defense. So I basically got 2 inside linebackers that one has a passing grade of 80.5 and the other one at 92.
Nice.
Let's see. I told you.
Yo,
Told you it's
yo,
Mitchell 6'1", 232, ran a 4.52. Cody Simon is 6'2", 229, ran a 4.58. In the combine, let's see. Jeffrey Bossa has 31 and 3/8 arms, and Cody Simon has 31 and 1/4. So I think I think those two linebackers right there, man, and the value that I got.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I got them in one in
Sixth
the
round.
fifth, one in the fifth, and one in the sixth round.
Uh,
No, I got them in the fifth round, didn't I?
No,
So I got one at 143 and one 180.
yeah, one in the fifth, one in the sixth.
Because I got Will Howard with my fourth pick at 108.
Yeah.
Bro, honestly, if that was to fall kind of like that, and then you got two running backs, you double dipped in Ashton Jeanty and Trevor Etienne. I don't know.
Cookie McGreeves.
All right, so Raider Nation, appreciate you guys staying with us, man. And EP, I appreciate you doing this, brother. I hope they didn't keep you up too late. You got anything?
I got about 5 hours left sleep.
Oh man, my bad, brother. All right, man. So Raider Nation, y'all stay up. I'm gonna let my boy get off and get in the bed. So I'll get this chopped up and get it sent out. You'll be able to catch this on YouTube. Subscribe and like the page. All right, Raider Nation, stay up.